Hey, all right, we're back. Nando and Rome show's back after a week off. Hope you guys didn't miss us. What's up, Rome?
What's up? Just, running live a couple streets away from the one and only Jason Kelsey.
Is he around this weekend? I don't want to spoil
Should
him.
be.
All right.
Should
Don't be.
be. I think so.
I mean, you got a kid. Don't be bar hopping, running into Jason.
I'm not going bar hopping, but I might go for a run by his house.
Well, I commend you because you won't find me anywhere near those places this weekend because I hate traffic. So unless I get a last minute invite from a friend, I am going either at the crack of midnight almost or at the crack of dawn, like where there's no cars.
Yeah, it was pretty
So
bad coming in today.
yeah, I saw it. It's the same way every other way. You're at the shore down here. You know, Route
Yeah.
One was crazy. I'm sure the roads leading to Seattle were crazy too. So
Yeah. Until we got actually down here, it was fine.
yeah, well, it's not too bad. I mean,
Yeah.
I will say this. I think the scenery. Well, is it better? I don't know
What,
which
the scenery
scenery is
down here?
better. Like going to Seattle or going down to like the Delaware beaches.
I would say going into Sea Isle because when you're coming over the bridge and you see the marshes and then the
Yeah.
river and
But
you're
that's
coming
once you
up and
get there.
over.
I'm talking about like the whole ride down. Like which one's the better ride? Because you've done
I'm gonna,
both.
I'm
Well,
gonna,
I've
I'm
done
gonna
both.
say, I'm gonna say CL because you're just going down Route One. You're just driving down Route One, and there's
Yeah,
like nothing.
I think
But
so
then
too.
again, but then you get if you're driving down to CL, you look at all
Trees.
the trees and then the redneck houses along the way.
All right. Well, that's enough for the beach talk. Um, that was a little beach talk segment. For Memorial Day weekend. Start your weekend off right, talking about traffic and on the way to the shore or the beach. I mean, you won't find me there unless like I said, I get a last minute invite somewhere. But yeah, we're back. Something happened while we were away, and that was the schedule got released, and I'm not complaining about the Eagles' schedule as many people are,
Mm-mm.
except the bye. That's really
The
this
buy
is
is garbage.
this is the first time we've had an early buy in a while. It's been
Hmm.
so long, and that's the only thing I don't like about the schedule. I don't care about the whole. There's only three real home games, the first 13 games or whatever the hell it is. But honestly, just looking at everything without because the audience, I don't know, knows this, but you do. I don't overhype any of these teams like the media does,
Yeah,
and I don't see. I don't before the bye. I don't see them losing a game. Maybe the first one because it's in neutral site against the Packers, but I think the Packers are
yeah,
I think the Packers are beatable. By the way,
yeah.
the, the Eagles schedule. I'm gonna run through the opponents by order, and then we can talk about it a little bit. So it's Green Bay to open up, Atlanta on Monday night, Saints
Hmm.
and Buccaneers on the road, bye week in week 5. Cleveland comes here at the Giants, at the Bengals. Jaguars come here, Dallas, there in Dallas.
Hmm.
Washington, Los Angeles. Washington's at home, Los Angeles away, Baltimore's away. Carolina is here, Pittsburgh is here, Washington there, Cowboys and Giants, as it's been the last several
Yep, it's
years.
usually what it is.
Um, Either Cowboys or Giants will has have been rotating the last 2 games. Um, we never play the Cowboys or the Giants early in the season anymore. Barely. It's not a thing that happens. Kind of like the Giants and Cowboys play each other early. I think they're playing each other week 2. I think, or I don't know. I didn't even look at their schedule. But before the bye, like I said, I don't see them as everything stands without injuries, whatever. How the rosters are constructed, I don't see them losing. Maybe the first because of the travel, but I don't even think that's Green Bay is
No,
beatable. So I don't know
they,
like how
they
much.
should be able to beat Green Bay.
Yes. So I
Yes.
mean, I don't like to do schedule predictions, and I hate the fact
I
that
don't, because you don't even know how these teams are going to be. Who the hell
who's
knows?
gonna get hurt, who's not. But
Yeah.
like these games are winnable. Like looking at the roster now, looking at everybody else's roster, uh, the The Cleveland one's gonna be tough, but I don't. I still don't even think Cleveland's that crazy. I mean, they're good.
Yeah,
So I mean, it could be a
their
toss up.
defense is good. I mean, that's
Yeah, but the Giants are garbage.
yeah,
At Cincinnati, that could probably be a loss. Cincinnati's
that might be a
really good.
loss.
I'm thinking about going. Just throwing it out there, people. Heads up.
Mm,
Jacksonville with Doug. Um, I think we played them a few. Actually, we played them in the Super Bowl here. I think 2 years ago, and we were fine. It was here too. This is going to be a Sunday night game. I know you're glued into this one for your boy Trev.
yep.
But
T Law.
I mean, the Jaguars are slightly a better team than they were that year. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm gonna be honest, and I like Trevor Lawrence, and this is an indictment on him. It's not an indictment on Doug because I like him, but he hasn't been like great there. He's been pretty average, and that's kind of it. It doesn't make me sad, but it's kind of sad because I like Doug as a coach, and they haven't really done anything. Like
No,
I don't think Trevor has gotten better, if that makes sense, under Doug. But
no.
they should win that one. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, they
They're
should easily beat
they're
Jacksonville.
gonna split at Dallas, and I think they're gonna lose the one in Dallas. Uh
Yeah, it's usually what happens.
Commanders are trash, so that's 2 wins. Rams are kind of in this weird spot where like they're rebuilding, but I don't know like exactly like where they're at. Ravens is gonna be a tough one, and that's probably gonna be a loss. It's in Baltimore. I'm gonna try to go to that one too. Uh
Hmm.
because I'm only trying to see teams I haven't seen. So
Yeah,
Carolina it's weird there.
Carolina should
Even
be a win.
even though Bryce Young looks better because they finally got him weapons instead of Adam Thielen. No offense to that 30 something year old Adam Thielen, but if he's your number one, you're not doing much. So I do think Bryce Young's gonna have a better season than he did.
I hope.
That's just my opinion. Steelers at home, that could be toss up, but Russ is done. I think Russ is
Russ
done.
is cooked. He's cooked. Yeah.
Commanders again. I already said they're going to win both of those. Same thing with the Giants, and then the
Yeah.
Cowboys is a split. So I mean, I don't do the prediction, but I think I got like a I don't know 13-4. I think is what I got, something like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I
But
didn't keep track.
this is all preseason. We don't know the injuries to the other teams to this
Yep.
team because there's going to be some, and
Yep.
I think for once the other day I was doing this stupid thing that you do in the off season when there's nothing else to do, and I was trying to figure out what the 53 was going to be. And I think this is the first time in a while that, and I don't really freak out about this stuff because I'm not like, I don't think, I actually do think that people should get a shot to prove whatever they need to prove. But
Hmm.
especially at corner, they got so many bodies there. And
Yeah, there's a lot.
I was trying to figure out like how they're gonna do that, and I was doing the roster where like I wasn't even naming Cooper a as a corner. I was naming him as a like just a DB. Like I wasn't even
Hmm.
putting him at safety or like whatever because I think he might play both, but I don't know. Um, Obviously, what's gonna happen with Bradbury's up in the air, even though this Jonathan Gannon ran a version of the system that Vic Fangio runs, but obviously Vic Fangio's the guy who I guess you could say created
He's
it.
the architect. Yeah.
So Bradbury had a all pro year the year he was with Gannon, and that's how he got paid, obviously.
Hmm.
So there is a possibility for him to not be completely cooked. It is a zone scheme. Sorry, Philly. It is a zone screen scheme like before, and this
Hmm.
does fit what Bradbury does best, and it does fit also. Slay can play both, but it fits what Slay can do a lot better too. And also Mitchell, even though he can play man. This is going to be a predominantly zone defense with Vic. And so it'll look like Jonathan's Gannon's offense. I mean defense. So don't be alarmed. But it's also a defense because specifically with the person who's teaching it being the guy who supposedly created it, this style or whatever you this scheme. Um, this happened in Miami last year, the only year he was there. It took them to about middle of the season for them to come together as a defense, and the numbers
Mhm.
got better as people got used to the defense. Obviously, the good thing with some of these players is that if any, if the Jonathan Gannon version is something close to it, then some of those guys have been in a version of it, so it's not going to be too crazy.
Mhm.
So, I mean, the defense, I think it'll get better as the year goes. So don't be alarmed if the beginning of the season it's annoying. So, but I'm not worried. This is the beginning of the season. I think everybody's picking. Did you put the futures on yet? The futures bet? What are the odds? Don't look it up. I'll look it up later.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't look right now.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I could. What am I talking about? Yeah, I could.
Well, yeah, we'll get to it. Other news is they're having mini camp or training camp. Well, it's not training camp, it's mini camp or workouts or whatever. There's a lot of people looking really good in, with they've done some work in the off season. Um, there's also something the team's doing, especially on social media, that I liked a lot. They're doing a lot of competition videos between the defense and
Mm-hmm.
the offense in part of their training. So that's
Yeah, a
been
lot of the
pretty cool.
rookies.
That's been pretty cool. I
Yeah.
think every rookie except Mitchell has signed so far. So basically the whole class except
Yeah.
Quinyon Mitchell has signed. So Cooper signed this weekend. So I'm sure Quinyon they're gonna get close. He's the first round pick. They're just trying to figure out the scale, probably the guaranteed. But
Yeah.
they'll figure that out. He has been at because this week, like I said, they've been having I guess it's mini camp right before the holiday, and then they're away for till I think they do something in June, and then they're away until training camp.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, nothing new going on there. The autism challenge was last weekend. They raised a lot of money. They always do.
Yep. And I always forget to sign up for it.
Yeah, well, they got a lot of things going on, man. It's all right.
Eh,
It
I was
happens.
off, so I could have. I could have.
Actually, I didn't. Because I was off of social media because I had things going on that day. I ended up going to a Phillies game that night, and on the way there is when I finally got into Instagram and realized that was happening like earlier that day, like at the link out in Philly and
Oh
all that.
yeah.
And then like I went to the Phillies game, and you know they they won again, but it was free
Yep.
tickets, so who cares? Thanks to my cousin, shout out to him. But man, these hockey playoffs, I won't get into it too much, but these hockey playoffs have been good. Have you been watching?
I've been trying to watch it. Like I got the Edmonton game on right
So
now.
do I. It's right on
I
the
just put that
side.
on.
It's on the
Yeah.
side. Actually, it's an intermission, so I took it off. I was
Yeah, but
watching.
yeah, any of them that I've watched so far, yeah, they've been really
I've,
good.
I've been watching the couple minutes that were left in the first quarter of the basketball game that's going on as well. But the Eastern Conference final. Those have been really good playoff hockey. Won't you know where to tune in for that, so we won't talk about it. Puck Talk. Listen to that. It's on the
Hot
channel.
dog.
You've seen it.
Absolutely.
You've heard it.
You
Um,
love it.
yeah. This week's episode was wacky. Mac decided to do a fantasy draft, and we're not talking about the one with points. She is talking about the one, fantasies, not fantasy. You get it. But
Hmm.
so, yeah. So we like to talk a lot of mainly Philly stuff, but me and Rome, we've mentioned it a little. But Rome and I like some racing,
Yes, we
and
do.
there was an all-star race out of all things this weekend that caused a
Hmm.
little stir after, and it's an all-star race, but these guys want to win some money.
Yeah, what about
So
$1 million? The purse was 1 million, wasn't it?
yeah, I think it always is
It
a
was like a
million,
million.
but depending on where you place, you always get some money, some cash out
Hmm.
there, but the main price was 1 million. uh yeah, you go ahead, you watch the race again. I go. Lead it off. Let us know.
Okay, so what I can't remember even how far. I think there were what, 4 laps into the race.
I think so. Yes, yes. It was early.
Okay, so they're 4 laps into the race, and I guess Stenhouse decides he wants to run 3 wide in the inside, in
Small
between two
track, by the
cars.
way. Small track. They haven't ran in this track in a while, like
Mhm.
years, and it's not really. It's not a really. I don't wouldn't consider a
It's
short
not.
track or a speed.
It's
It's like a mid track kind of,
yeah,
but it's not meant for three wide. It can happen, but I don't think it.
yeah. So in the course of this, Stenhouse decided he was going to, I guess, put Kyle Busch into the wall, drive him up into the wall, so he connects with the wall. Obviously, Kyle's not going to take too kindly of that.
Yeah, we
And
know.
then when he came back, he was gonna, let's say, little rubbing on his back left side, and put his ass in the wall like he should. Nice little receipt there.
Yeah, gotta
So
get the receipt.
then, yeah, do I
I say gotta get the receipt in.
gotta get that receipt? So I guess, well, apparently that the Stenhouse had to stay because usually, when you wreck and it's all over, you usually leave and go back to your hotel and stuff. But I guess the track is
Yeah,
completely
you gotta
sealed
get
off.
checked out.
Yeah, you can't leave the track
Yeah,
because
because
the
there was
race
an
is going on
accident.
because there's no tunnel.
Yeah, not there for sure.
So I guess, yeah, he sat there, got in his street clothes, waited for Mr. Kyle Busch to show up, and then I guess Busch tried to explain what happened. They got in a little scuffle, little old school Winston Cup Series brawl.
I'm watching it now as you're talking.
Was it? Yeah,
Um, and it was early in the race.
it was like I think it was like 4 laps in because yeah, he was done. He was
Okay,
toasted.
yeah, 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 hold on. But the way like it started, that's what it is. That's the part I missed. I saw Bush, rub him. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, he
so
Stenhouse
so
rubbed in the middle of Bush and who was the other car?
I couldn't. I knew because I just paid
This is
attention to.
this is content. There shouldn't be any dead space. Blanking. It's a Toyota. It's another Toyota. Was it Bell?
It
He
might have
had a
been
white
Bell.
car. Was it Denny? It was Denny. It was
Ooh,
between
was
Denny.
it Denny?
It was between
He's
Denny
so
and
good.
Kyle, and he just
Uh, he
made it
decided to
tight.
yeah, he put
Made it tight
Bush
off
into
the
the
corner.
wall.
Bush goes into the wall. Is pissed about it because he's a Bush, and then like just
Yeah,
runs
it was.
Ricky, and then
There was. I saw absolutely
strikes him.
nothing wrong with Kyle giving him a little rub and putting him into the wall.
And then we get some scuffles. I wouldn't
Yeah,
even
the
say
scuffles.
fisticuffs.
That's why I said. I said it was like the old school. Well, yeah, maybe it wasn't the old school Winston Cup Series scuffle because it was just like one punch thrown and then it was a
So
sucker punch.
my question is, who went to who? Because I saw the video, but I don't
Stenhouse
know who.
came to
Because
him, or he was at least, or either he went to him or he was waiting by Kyle Busch's trailer.
because Kyle has waited for people who have done this to him in the past. Because Kyle doesn't care, right? Kyle's not the P word. So Kyle has approached
No,
people
he's not.
before. Kyle has
Yep.
approached people before. He's not afraid to do it. So I was wondering if it was Kyle or it was Ricky who waited for him. But it was,
No, Ricky. Yeah, Ricky was waiting by by the hauler.
yeah. Oh, I just saw a different angle of it. I'm watching
Hmm.
it right now. But yes, they're having words. Media's all around it. Bunch of cameras.
As
Uh,
usually it is.
Ricky throws the punch. I don't
It
know.
was. It's kind of a sucker. I think it was a sucker punch.
I don't know what Kyle said that like made him like throw the punch though.
It doesn't sound like he said like
I
anything.
think
It's like
Ricky was
from
just
what I could
pissed.
hear. Well, it's an all-star race. Like, chill out, dude. Well, he got slapped with a $75,000 fine, which is the largest fine ever slapped to somebody in NASCAR.
I did see that. I did see that.
And I think Kyle scaped. Obviously, he got away with not getting a fine because he got sucker punched.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was interesting. I like when there's scuffles, I should say, because then it's been a real like fight. Usually, I think
Mm.
you like it when Joey's getting punched, but
Oh, I love it when he's getting punched.
it's like watching that NASCAR show on Netflix when your boy Denny says effing Kyle in that one episode. I think it's like episode 4 or 5, like whatever
Yep.
it was. It was hilarious. Um, who won the race, by the way? And as much as I love racing, I just don't care
Um,
for the All Star
I don't
race.
even
I'm gonna be
know.
honest.
Yeah.
I don't care for the All
Who's
Star race. uh, because it's just for show, and I appreciate it, but I'm done watching like All Star things in general.
Yeah.
Uh, it's
Let me see.
I think I have it up. It's because I'm looking at the highlights right now. That wasn't the highlights I wanted to see. But anyway, speaking of racing,
Oh, speaking of people with fucking hate,
what
it was Logano.
like oh yeah, like I don't want. But I do remember that now that I should bring it up.
Oh my
Anyway,
God. That just made me so upset.
um the speaking of racing, that was fun to see. He got fined. There's different angles. Then the scuffle happens. I think his
Yeah.
dad jumped in, is what I'm hearing, and grabbed
Yeah, I have to look
Kyle,
into
and then
that.
it
Yeah.
just it's a whole thing. But it was just funny because like Kyle's, it wasn't even Kyle's people. Somebody came. Was it Ricky's people, or was it like another teammate of
So
the other
so
team
all the guys in blue, all the guys in that like baby powder blue
with the
were
green?
Stenhouse. And they started grabbing onto in the green. I think it might have been someone part of that the race team.
No, because they were
Um
the ones who like got the I guess it was Ricky's dad off of Kyle. But I think that's no, it was
the powder blues or the baby blues, that was Stenhouse's crew.
okay, yeah, the Kroger. Yeah. But then the other guys came at the end. If you watch the original video of the
They're
scuffle,
still in like black and they had like a neon green. Is that what you're talking about?
the Kroger is them, but the Lenovo and then the other ones the neon, yeah, that's usually Kyle's sponsor this year. So like you know how like it's somebody from Richard Childress. Like
Yeah, it's probably part of that team. It was like probably another team's.
well, they had a different paint scheme, so I think sometimes they share the same sponsors now, which they didn't used to before. So I think somebody on
Mm-hmm.
RCR was having the usual sponsor that Kyle has, which is that lime green, baby blue, lime green, dark blue thing. And because Kyle had Lenovo, they had the
Oh
black and red.
Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, but the Kroger people were Stenhausen. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that was fun to see. It's always fun. This weekend is the All Star. I'm not the All Star, right? The 600, the Coca-Cola 600.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably the second biggest race aside from the 500. In the calendar, I guess you could say.
I'd say so.
I would say as far as like importance, I guess it would be that in the 600. But that's I would say that is the main event of Sunday day in the world
Mm-hmm.
of racing. And I'm gonna bring it up. It is a big day in racing on Sunday. And I'm gonna be tuned in. We have we have to start off the morning, the Monaco Grand Prix, probably the most prestigious Grand Prix race in Formula One. It is at 9 a.m., I believe, in
Okay.
Monaco, through the streets of Monaco. So that's how I'll be starting my day off. And then in between that and the Coca Cola 600, the Indy 500 will be happening in Indy racing.
Oh
And
yeah.
Kyle Larson is going he qualified inside the top six, I think it was. And he's doing the double duty for
Mm.
doing the Indy 500. Tony Stewart used to do this a lot. He did this a few years when he was in this prime racing. Uh, I don't remember how high Tony ever qualified or finished. I was looking this up a few months ago. I don't have it in
Not
front
too
of me,
sure.
but obviously Kyle's attempting to do the thing. Tony did do this, though. I know this for a fact, where he led a lap in both races. He has a pretty good chance to do that,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because he's really good. I mean,
Yeah,
I hate Hendricks, but it's the
as most
truth.
people do.
I'm more a Toyota guy, so anybody with a Toyota, I'm cheering for. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just cheering for a manufacturer, not really a team, because after my guy retired, I haven't picked a person. But yeah, so big Indy 500, always a big thing. Even if I don't watch any other race during this Indy
Mm-hmm.
season, which I won't. Actually I tuned in like the first race, but that was it. It was like for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a big day of racing, and then for my crowd, well, your crowd too, but you don't really watch. To end the night, there's gonna be some wrestling on, but we don't have to get into this because it's not a wrestling podcast. Big weekend of wrestling too. Uh, I think it's Saturday because of the time frame. Saturday afternoon, I believe it is. There's a show from Saudi Arabia that
Oh, that
will
show.
be live. The King of the Ring, a King Queen of the Ring, because royalty, Saudi Arabia, all that blood money.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't be watching because I don't partake in blood money. And somebody tell me how it went.
Yeah.
And then Sunday night, for sure, I know this for a fact. The other company's having a pay per view, which I will be watching. Uh, Live from Las Vegas, Double or Nothing for AEW. It should be fun. But yeah, big weekend of wrestling as well as racing. So maybe I might be able to talk about that next week. Maybe I'll see.
All
I'll see
right.
how it goes. I'll watch the highlights. Last Saudi Arabia thing I watched, well, I think was the one where Titus O'Neil like slipped running into the ring and ended up like under the
Oh,
ring.
he flew under the ring.
Yeah, he tripped and then ended up being like a thing that everybody replayed.
Mm-hmm.
But because they had like a mini Royal Rumble, I think, in Saudi Arabia one
Yeah, it
time,
was something like that.
and he's running down the thing, and then he just face plants, slips and face plants, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I got this week, Rome. Anything you want to let the people know before we go and come back next week?
Yes. I got a
Uh,
bone to pick.
Well, you better
I got, yeah. All
better
right.
make it
So,
snippy.
yeah, it's going to be quick. This ain't going to be a big, long rant this time.
Roman's reign. Go ahead.
I'm ranting. All right. People who call into sports programs, specifically WIP, because that's what we listen to, you need to say what you're going to say on the radio before you call in because 9 times out of 10, you sound like a fucking idiot. I wanted to shoot myself listening to the radio, listening to WIP this week. There was the most, I think I lost millions of brain cells listening to some of these callers and some of this. I can't even repeat half the stuff they said because they were so stupid. Like you need to repeat it, whatever you're going to say, repeat it out loud before you call in. And if an idiot would say that, don't call in, say it. Just listen to the radio. Because I could tell, like Spike and Ike and them, they were so confused. It was the most confusing radio I've ever heard. I couldn't tell you how many times I said, "What the fuck is going on?" It
What
was
day was this? I'm gonna go back on the Odyssey app and listen now.
um
What day?
okay, so it's either Wednesday or Thursday.
And what was it about?
Dude, I can't even remember. It was
Was
just
it Wednesday? Because
multiple
Wednesday was
callers.
yesterday. You mean like last week? Wednesday and Thursday? Because
It
today is
might have.
we're recording on Thursday, people.
Oh
Well,
wait, hold on. I'm sorry. It might have been. I'm sorry. No, no, no. See, I'm all confused. My days are all fucked up.
yeah,
There was Monday and
Monday or
Tuesday. Monday
Tuesday.
and Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, because Tuesday they were at that golf tournament. So I'm gonna say it was Monday. Because even Fritz was like, well, they sounded knowledgeable on the phone. Then you throw them over and they're just
Direct
like,
them. Got
like
him.
what? Oh my god, dude. It was so like it was
Yeah, but
so bad.
I'm not to
Like
stand up for them, but this is a gripe. Speaking of sports radio, I like listening to it. It does get annoying now. I'm old enough where I kind of like, turn it off. I'm gonna go listen to music. But I will tell you this: what my one biggest gripe when I used to listen to the radio, and I think it's a thing of even though these guys have been doing it longer than we have, when the lights turn on, I've had moments where like I know most of these people's names who I'm talking about and want to talk about, and then I freeze because my biggest gripe was not even with the because when the callers do it, it's funny. It's like, oh yeah, what's his name? The guy that plays third. You know who fucking plays third is that
oh,
Adam
you
Rome.
know, does a thing.
Yeah, he does the thing. Yeah. But I used to be really get annoyed when the host would not know the name. And then now that I'm on this side and I'm like, this is more like standing up for some of the hosts, like a little bit, I guess, not
Oh
the
yeah, I'm not
callers,
knocking on the host.
but I'm still gonna be mad at the caller who took time out of his day to call in and doesn't remember the name of the damn shortstop he called in to talk about. Because number 7, that guy. Can't think of what's his name. They just signed Roly Polioli, throwback. They didn't even know the guy they just drafted. Is it Michael? You know, one of those. Nah,
Yeah.
Mitchell, man. Like You like before you called it, you said no. So I'm always gonna make fun of the callers. But now this is more me like kind of seeing where it comes from with the host sometimes. Like when you're in that, and even though they're done it longer than I ever have, and I don't claim to be a professional yet or anything like that, but I've had moments where I couldn't remember the name. Like the other day doing the puck talk, I couldn't remember the name of Elias Pettersson, one of the best Canucks players on the roster, and I couldn't think of his name. I was like number 40, and like Mac was like, "Yeah, I know," and she knew, but she didn't want to like say it like
Mm-hmm.
she was in on it. She was like, "He's messing this up."
Yeah.
Yeah, just to chime in. But yeah, they're idiots. I
Yeah.
agree.
But please, idiots, don't stop calling them because
But they
I love to get frustrated on the ride home. I love getting mad and yelling at my radio.
Yeah, yelling at the radio, not even about the team. You're yelling about the guy who's calling. It's like, you idiot. Like, what are you talking about? It's nothing to do with
Yeah.
the team. You're mad at the team, and you end up being mad at the caller because he's just saying the stupidest thing. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
who let this on? Even the hosts are saying it, and then the producers getting like bitched at like afterwards when it's
It's
really bad.
yeah. So I think I'm almost positive it was Monday. Go back and listen to Monday's Mike and Ike
All
or
right,
Spike and Ike show.
Mike and Ike, that's
Yeah,
good too.
Mike and
Yeah, that was the old show
well,
at one
that
point.
was the
When it was
old
like
yeah.
Michael Barkan, and they
Barkin.
ran
I
at
hated
like
him.
lunchtime.
I hated him.
Yeah, I didn't. I won a prize one time with them. All right, that's all you got to know. When I lived in Orlando for like a couple years, I called in. Didn't call in ever while I lived here. I lived in Orlando for 2 years, back in the area. But
I think
back
I
then,
was
I
listening.
called. It was when Howard Mudd was part of the coaching staff, and the call was basically actually it might have been Barkane might have been off because I think it was like Jody Mack who was filling or something, right? But
Mm-hmm.
basically, I know Ike was in, and I remember calling. Only time I've ever called. I tried to call it overnight once when I was doing overnights at a job because there
Okay.
was like topic, and then like the guy, the producer picked up. I said hello, and then like he hung up with me. I was like, what is this? But I called, won a prize. I think it was like tickets to like go to like Big Bear, one of the mountains of it, like in
Oh Jesus.
PA, like
Oh,
one of
up in
the
Poconos,
yeah,
up in the
Pocono,
Poconos.
something
Yeah.
like that. And I won because the trivia question was like, who does Howard Mudd look like? It was a movie character, and I listened. I got mad. Yeah, I
Blue.
got frustrated listening, and I'm like, I gotta call in. Like nobody's getting this. Nobody's getting this. The answer was Patches of Houlihan, and I called in
Oh
and I got it right.
yeah.
And I was like, Patches of Houlihan. I think I texted you guys. I was like, about to be on. Like,
I
and
think I listened to it and I was laughing my ass off.
they were like, oh, you won. And then they were like, I think I gave them my like mom's address. It wasn't they. I had to go pick it up, so I didn't pick it up because I was away. I almost sent you one of you guys. I think I tried to text you and said, hey,
Probably.
do you want to pick this up? Like, whatever. But yeah, guys, practice in the mirror. That was the funniest thing Roman said in this rant, little mini rant, is practice in the mirror before calling. Get your index cards ready.
Yeah, if you're in your car, just flip it down, just talk in the mirror. Don't pay attention to the road and just wreck your car. It's all good.
Yeah, that'll tell you you're being an idiot. You wrecked the car practicing this stupid rant that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you had fun.
All right.
All right. Peace.